The only way I could describe round one was that it was certainly a round. Could even go as far as saying it was the round of all time. But there's your score, there's your rank. We're off to an absolute flyer, aren't we? We'll keep these videos short. It's not like I have much time on my hands anyway. But in defense, the premiums did their job. Kidney and McKenna led the way in the rookie department. Great stuff from them. Constable butchered it, but he still found plenty of the ball. Cowan, he got subbed out. I think the injury wasn't too serious though. And Liam Jones, oh my goodness, that is a disaster to have on field. Got subbed out in the second quarter due to a neck injury. Still a chance to get up for the Saints game, thankfully, but if he doesn't, he'll be traded. To who? We'll figure that out. But that's one to watch in the team selections. Would have been a massive double whammy if he had Stewart as well. Just super unlucky. Midfield, we'll get to that first score in just a moment. Oliver and Bontempelli, they had opposite trajectories in that These Dogs game. Bont got off to a fast start but tailed off. Oliver, real slow start but came home strong. We'll take those scores from them. Obviously would have liked a better captain score, but considering how much of a disaster it was all round, we'll take a ton. Setterfield and Warple, two shining lights in a rough week, especially Setterfield considering he's a big pod in the side. Hopper, real quiet 3/4, better in the fourth, but disappointing overall. Won't hit the panic button on him just yet. He does have the role, although he started forward a couple times, but we'll see how he goes against Adelaide. Ashcroft, quiet, but everyone has him, so we'll ride the bumps with him. Mackenzie, great debut. And on the bench, Long, good from him. Baker, hopefully he keeps his spot, because that's not great. And Chesser, real disappointing. Didn't hit his break even, and we don't know if he'll get named this week, so that's something to keep an eye on. And finally, the biggest talking point coming out of round one, the only player over 700k, Uber Premium, Rory Laird, drops a 50. A 50! Oh my goodness. He didn't even get hard tagged, just had the most out of character game. 18 touches, 2 marks, 2 tackles. Going on about it all preseason, about his ability to fill up the stat sheet, and that he'll be fine even if he's having a rough game because he can do it all. He's even hitting the scoreboard. He comes out and drops this first up. Unbelievable. In an interview yesterday, he mostly put it down to the conditions. One of the hardest games he's had to play, found it difficult to cover the ground, put in repeat efforts, and their midfield just got beat up as a whole. And it obviously reflected on his output and overall influence on the game, which he knows, he said it himself, he had none. I can't see this happening again at home against Richmond, but oh my goodness, he needs a massive redemption game. Disappointing output from the ruck department, Darcy and Marshall, who went up against each other on Sunday. There were some shoulder concerns on Marshall, but he's not on the Saints injury report, so that's good news. And the forward line, Dunkley solid in what was a rough day for Brisbane. Rosie good, Taranto butchered his way to the ton, Goulden good, and the mid prices. Tanner Bruin looked really good as an inside mid, but unfortunately spent most of his time on the bench or outside of the centre bounce. I did have some worries in the lead up to round one on how Tanner would be used, because as good as he looked as an inside mid, Geelong do love throwing a bunch of names in there. We know how much they love their versatility, and those worries unfortunately came to fruition against Collingwood. So he's a watch against Carlton. Hope for better, but he may not be as good of a pick as we thought. And Flanders didn't get to see the game, but fairly sure he played the role we expected him to play. He was very quiet up until junk time, so that's not great considering I had Sheasel for the longest time there, and that would have put me over 2,000 and saved me a trade. It was a last minute trade and it's proven to be a massive L. Very unfortunate. And on the bench, Davey, Good, and Green. I mean, Hawthorn got smacked, so unfortunate, but job security should be all good there. First trade we're doing is Flanders to Sheasel. Got to bring in Sheasel, no questions asked. Second trade will depend on team selections, but we could trade out Jones to a Tom Cole or something like that. Chesser, I don't think he'll get named. We could go him to a Philippou. Even Tanner Bruin could trade to Zeeble or something like that. I don't know. I think we'll go Chesser to Philippou just for a second trade in this video. I'll probably stick with this too because I have no confidence in Chesser getting named this week. So we'll do that. Flanders to Sheasel, Chesser to Philippou leaves me with 30k in the bank. So as it stands, this will be the team heading into round 2, pending team selections of course. We'll back in Led to bounce back at home against Richmond, chuck the VC on him, and Bont gets the C. Hopefully a much better week. Surely it can only be up from here, it's been a bad enough start as it is. I hope you all had a much better round than I did. Good luck to you all for round 2, and see you in the next one.